Here comes Team S9 to present the importance of breast self-examination.
Effective conditioning and stress reduction juncture of a student's academic life. Over to Team S10.
Hello Dad, I won a prize in photography competition. Oh, so this is why your grades have been dropping. Here I am, working very hard, pouring money into your education, and you can't even pass your exams. Do you think it is that easy to get a seat in a good engineering college? But Dad, I think I like photography better. Why can't I choose it as my career? How many times should I tell you this, Meghana? Photography won't pay your bills, but an engineering degree will. Another time you mention this to me, I will take away your camera.
This is such a great idea.
This is a great choice. I'm gonna go to IIT Delhi.
My parents also insisted me to take it.
Engineering sounds like the right path to choose. Why don't I pursue it? Hey, are we watching Money Heist on Netflix right now? No, we are witnessing something far more sinister, lurking in the shadows of every household. The greatest heist of all. What's that? The heist of the mind. Like Meghana, young minds in this country are being conditioned to fit the societal structures of success. Conditioning refers to a behavioral process whereby a response becomes more frequent in a given environment as a result of repetitive reinforcement and punishment. Conditioning activates by activating the reward and punishment centers in the brain.
Reward centers in the brain are activated in the limbic system by repeated stimulus like affection, guilt, rewards, acknowledgement when students excel in their academics. This causes stimulation of the pleasure pathway, thereby causing a dopamine surge, making them repeat their actions further.
Activation of punishment centers, on the other hand, occurs by lack of acknowledgement, parental and societal disapproval, and to outright discouragement, consequently reducing the likelihood of that behavior to occur again in the future.
Conditioning could be a knight in shining armor, as it is the primary tool used in shaping of character. In fact, this practice is not limited to India alone, but dates back to the very beginning of survival and parenting. So when does it become problematic then?
When there is a recurring pattern of imbalance between expectations from external factors and personal interests. This is typically seen during career identity development among adolescents.
What does our research suggest? In this retrospective study, 386 undergraduates of age 18 to 24 were asked to answer a self-made questionnaire and a perceived academic stress scale to help us assess the effect of conditioning on career choice. Hereby, through research, we could conclude that 56.6% of parents were frequently insisting their children to pursue a conventional career, while 26.4% students said that second major factor to choose a career were the parents only after their personal interest.
60.6% students do not believe that their parents would have approved of an unconventional career choice. 64.6% students have voted affirmatively to have participated in discussions regarding favorite career choices with peers, while 23.8% value their opinions.
It is quite evident from the numbers that parents are the major factors contributing to conditioning.
So, what happens if we are conditioned?
Conditioning causes loss of individuality and an inability to pursue a road less taken. It causes suppression of the creative mind and paves way to academic stress.
Academic stress is defined
followed by lack of focus in class and dozing off in lectures. This has shown to decrease their academic performance and can lead to a dysfunctional lifestyle.
Students experiencing academic stress are at an increased risk of developing conditions such as insomnia, anxiety, depression, and suicidal behavior. According to National Crime Records Bureau, one student every 42 minutes commits suicide due to failure in examinations or mental stress. There was a rise of 21% in the suicide rates in 2019. Some losses can never be compensated for.
The second part of our study consisted of a perceived academic stress rate that took into account stress and its potential causes among undergraduates at different junctures of their academic life, namely the preparatory phase and the undergraduate phase.
The results of which are as follows. 28.2% students have gone to coaching classes before intermediate. Moreover, the same population coincides with those who are unhappy with their career choice.
44% of students say that this academic stress definitely has an impact on their interpersonal relationships, while more than 50% of students say that this stress is due to unrealistic expectations from parents and teachers with no significant difference between the preparatory phase and UG phase students.
This solidifies our notion that substantial conditioning is a major contributor to academic stress among undergraduates.
So who's the real puppeteer?
Isn't it the parents?
No, despite the result of our research, it is important to acknowledge that parents are not culprits themselves. They are victims, in fact, of this millennia-long process and should not be villainized or ostracized. Conditioning may be rooted in the positive intentions to build a just and successful society. However, it has snowballed into an imperceivable evil that exists deep within.
So how does one solve a problem with no traceable origin?
While this seems to be an unsolvable puzzle, one must be looking for the missing pieces. The first most missing piece being prioritizing our opinion in the first place.
Discovering one's true interest and gauging its longevity is the most fundamental step to avoid the disastrous consequences that follow a spineless decision.
Awareness must be created among parents to view conditioning as a transitory step rather than a lifestyle practice.
Taking career counseling more seriously and reaching to an aptitude-based career identity will benefit both students and the workforce.
What happens when you realize you have been conditioned, but you have already chosen a career path? Is all lost?
No, there is light at the end of the tunnel, even for us undergraduates.
Realizing that opinions only matter so much can tremendously help with the pressure that comes along with examinations.
Horizontal integration with the subject of interest and academics to bedazzle what you might initially dislike.
Yoga, meditation are proven stress busters, but personalized mechanisms such as journaling and music engagement can be an alternative.
Art therapy using colors and paints to express one's opinion is a healthy alternative.
For Meghana, photography was not just a field of interest, but a coping mechanism from her academic stress. Imagine taking away something as integral as this from one's life.
This is worse than a robbery. In fact, this is
Is this the future we envision for ourselves and our posterity? A robot producing mass-producing robot factory that deprives.
This is not the first time we have heard of this. It has been addressed in movies and media countless amount of times. Still, things are not looking up. The gaps between parents, teachers, and students is only ever increasing with their inability to understand each other.
For students like Meghana, this choice was shoved down their throats by their parents and teachers while everybody else watched in silence. Voices were being stifled just for the sake of being one with the crowd. No, we are better than this. Let's embrace our autonomy.
Very nice presentation. Yeah, are there anybody more to add? This is the group. So how many of you have been pressurized to join MBBS? Raise your hands. Only 1 out of 6. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, fine. It was a good presentation. Audio visuals were very Audio visuals were also very great. Okay, so what I wanted to point out as Madam was trying to say is, we are able to find the results, okay, are clear, okay, and then you are trying to tell us what should be done also. But actually, it doesn't make a sense whether it is any comparison is there between them. Like when you do a research, once you get a results, are my results in sync with what the world is going on? Okay, that is missing in all presentations, not in every presentation, most of the presentations. So comparison between other like Indian culture versus Western culture, how is the perceived stress even in the Western? It's not that only Indian students are pressurized, even in the West also they're pressurized, they're SATs, they're getting into professional courses. There is equal amount of pressure there as well. Okay, we should not get our Indian heist get into the way of Western heist anyway. Okay, but it was a good presentation. It's just only a comment. I don't have any questions.
Thank you, sir.
In the methodology, you have written it's a retrospective and a single blinded set. Can you please explain that?
So we are asking undergraduates to answer this question, these questions, because if it is retrospective, they'll be able to judge better and they'll be able to tell whether they have really experienced this in both preparatory phase and their current phase. However, if it is only students, we will not be able to judge after competitive exams what they're experiencing.
Sir, I would like to add on. So basically, conditioning can be only measured once it has already occurred, because during the process it's very subtle. So we have taken into consideration before the competitive exam phase and after the competitive exam phase, which eliminates the academic stress caused by exams, because they are chronically stressed because of this.
Is there not a recall bias?
No, sir. Actually, there is percentage of recall bias involved, but we are mostly looking for the chronic effect that occurs because of parents and teachers' expectations that exist even today.
So what is single blinded here?
So we didn't want to, our study is single-blinded because we didn't want the students to know exactly what conditioning, that we are looking for conditioning, because that can, their personal opinions matter, because people might believe that they are more conditioned or less conditioned. We didn't want them to involve that opinions when they are answering the questions.
Did you compare between medical and non-medical students? Any comparison was done in your results?
Yes, actually we haven't projected it in our AV, but our comparison was medical students are relatively happier and have lesser conditioning, because it is an investment that parents have to make, which is far more abundant than that of engineering, and it's a long-term process. So when people are choosing medicine as a career, it is generally out of personal interest and conditioning both combined.
Very well done. Congratulations. I have a deja vu feeling because if my mind was not conditioned, today I would have been an IAS officer and not sitting here as a faculty in Spanish Medical College.
So congratulations. In fact, it's the result of such presentations and attending such presentations and being in sync with the younger generation. Parents like me also understand your voice. So parents are not villains or culprits. You are going to be parents one day and you will again have the same confusion, because parents want the best for their children and sometimes they overdo it. So I fully understand that. So having established this, did you include undergraduates in other fields, for example movie fields, and those fields, are they satisfied now? Those who have taken a vocation of their choice, are they satisfied now? You are mostly concentrated on engineering, parents and doctor parents, and they are the villains most of the times. But what about others?
So, ma'am, in our results, when they have chosen their courses, there have been unconventional career choices like fashion technology and some who are involved in humanities side. They have significantly lesser academic stress than those of medicine and engineering fields. That could also be attributed to the course itself, which is why we haven't compared them exactly. But because their academic stress is less, we weren't focusing on them. The problem lies with the more conventional choices of their course.
So you brought out a very nice topic. What do you intend to do about it? Like this topic is coming up again and again in OSMICons. So what do you think will make a difference? Because situation stays status quo.
So basically what we have, thank you for your question firstly. I would like to point out that this, we have mentioned in our AV also that it has been told multiple times. This is not a new lesson we are learning. Where we are lagging behind is where implementation of autonomy of the student, where the parents are conditioning but children don't even realize it. And I don't think parents have a negative intention, which is why we also pointed it out that they are not the villains. They themselves come from a society which has conditioning. So it is important to first recognize it, and if it is being recognized, it's important to value autonomy and also support unconventional career choices.
So what about you? Last question. You said, you were conditioned. So what do you want to do now?
So my journey has been a slightly different one. I was first conditioned to choose MBBS, for which my instant response was no, I don't want to choose it. When I discovered it myself and I enjoyed the subject, I chose it. So mine was not a result of conditioning, but I was conditioned in the beginning.
So lesson to parents is don't give free advice, let the children go, understand, make mistakes, learn, be there for them. So thank you for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much.
The factors contributing to conditioning and stress are parents and peers. I just want to understand, for knowledge sake, where do relatives fall in the list? Other than parents, relatives, uncle, aunties who are constantly asking बच्चे के exam कब खत्म होंगे?
They are part of the primary group, sir, which are very much involved in conditioning.
Thank you.
Thank you.